Hello and welcome back to the Cove with more BattleTech. Well, before we zip away from the planet, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of spending. We have some money up our sleeves and there's a couple of things that I wouldn't mind picking up, one of which is this LRM-20. So we're going to go ahead and purchase that for our catapult today.
New weapon systems available.
And I think that's about all that we needed. Yeah, I think that's about everything that we wanted. So let's go and swing past the mech bay and we'll get that sorted as we're about to fly off. So our catapult C4, let's go ahead and drop off the old LRM-20 and throw on the new one. That'll be very nice for some extra damage. A couple of days work, nothing too ridiculous. That should be quite nice. Alright, also too, now that we've got that sorted, I was having a bit of a think about things, and at the moment we've got a silly little hunchback set up at the moment. Now I don't think we have, oh no actually we do have an AC-20. Okay, well you know what, I think that means we're going to go ahead and put this into storage. We're going to take away all of these lasers and things, and we're going to build up a traditional hunchback. So what we need to do is head to storage and we should be able to find ourselves one hunchback. That should be good. That'll take us another day before we can sort that out, but that's not a big deal here nor there. And then we have our Marauder, which I think we're going to swap out that AC-20 for an AC-10 that has extra damage. That should give us enough to get the head caps. Technically, it wouldn't be enough if they're in cover, but I think with the other benefits, it sort of outweighs it in the grand scheme of things. Not to mention we get to carry a lot more ammunition. So now we're carrying 16 rounds of AC-10 ammo. Far better. We also have 2 more tons to spare as well because of the weight reduction. So with that in mind, is there anything we want to put on this thing in particular? Well, let's see. It's mainly energy weapons, so we should probably just sort by those. We could potentially go ahead and put on some medium laser with extra damage, and honestly I think that that's not a bad plan. Again, make sure that we're as good at head capping as possible. And then we still have 2 tons, and we could swap out for some pulse lasers. And you know what? They are a bit more toasty, but they are also pretty accurate, and they do a solid chunk of damage. So I'm thinking maybe that's what we do. We'll get rid of this one here, we'll throw that on there, and then we might do the same over here. So heat efficiency actually ends up staying about the same, firepower is about the same as well, but it means that we've got better odds for when we do shoot at our specific targets. Now the only other thing is, are there any other medium lasers which are modified? The answer seems to be no, so I think that will do, and yeah, we can reassess in the future. Yeah, medium laser, pulses, yeah, I think that'll do. Technically, we could always drop one of these pulses if we really wanted and put on a little bit of cooling, but for now, I think we're doing all right. Also, as well, with the AC-10, it also means we get to start shooting a little bit earlier on. We don't have to wait for the very close range for that AC-20 to really kick in. Alright, so let's also go ahead and get that hunchback up and ready, just so we can go ahead and work on that when we can. And I think that should be about all that we need. So let's head to the star map and see where we're going to head to. I think the plan is we're going to head to Herodotus. We have not traveled there yet. We have Black Market there. We've got some easy challenge. We should be able to get something for the pirates so we can start taking some level some 2 difficulty pirate missions, and it's also only 14 days away, which does mean that it's going to be just that little bit easier for us to get there and not have to spend more money on engineering for the upgrades for the Argo. Alright, Doctor's orders, what have we got? As you pass Medbay, you hear Headhunter and Archangel shouting, followed by a loud metallic crash. Commander, Headhunter calls you as you enter. How nice of you to join us. He rises halfway out of bed, trailing a tangled rope of tubes and wires. The senior doctor turns on you, flushed and angry. Commander, your MechWarriors refuse to follow their recovery regime. Archangel looks up from a nearby chair. Come on, you old quack. Can't you see Headhunter is ready to get back there? Alright, well, you know what? I can understand that, but we have a training module. Obviously, this is the better way to, you know, for him to get what he wants, everybody to get what they want without doing too much. I decide who fights and who doesn't, not you, Archangel, but no one fights until the doctor gives you a clean bill of health. You turn to the doctor. I respect the challenges you face here, but clearly Headhunter is going a little stir-crazy. Perhaps he could spend some time each day in the training modules. The doctor's tightened lips communicate displeasure, but she keeps those words to herself. Very well, Commander. We'll need him on his feet soon enough. Walking to the training room and back won't be any different than doing laps in the hallway. Okay, bonus XP. Sure, that'll do. That also now means we can swing by our mech bay and work on our hunchback. And what a sad state for a hunchback. No weapons equipped. That is inexcusable. So let's go ahead and we'll bump that up. Do we... actually, you know what? Let's see. If we were to maximize our armor, how much tonnage does that take? Doesn't really add that much. I guess technically we could buff that up a little bit too. You know what? Maybe we go ahead and we revert it back to where it was. That'll be fine. We'll throw that AC-20 on there. We obviously need a ton or two of ammunition as well. That'll be fine. So that leaves us with 10 shots. Yep. And then heat efficiency. How are we doing? Well, we're 6 under. Okay, so that's nice. So let's go ahead and head to our weapons. Let's go ahead and... oh, hang on a second. I think... let's go ahead and get the tag. I think that would be a good thing for us to chuck on. Just make sure that we're doing as much damage with that AC-20 as possible. Not to mention marking targets is always not a bad plan. And then what else do we have? We have 4.5 tons remaining. Well, I guess if we've got half a ton left, we should probably throw on maybe a small laser. Yes, suppose that's not the worst idea. And then maybe we go for... what is it? We still have 4 more tons left. How much does everything weigh? A little bit too much, I think. Could try out the coil. I haven't ever played around with that before. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we try that out. I don't know if it's any good, but I guess it's worth it. It does say its heat is 50, but I think that might be like on a scale from how much you move. But even if not, we're not gonna cook in a single turn. So yeah, maybe we give that a play with. And then for good measure, well, that's all of our weapon space is taken, hey? Or at least as far as most things are concerned. We could go for some more ballistics, but I doubt we're going to have room for that. We need... what's this? The AC-2 is 6 tons. This is 14. We could fit in here 2 AC-2s. That's not that much. AC-5s, less weight benefit. No, it's really worth keeping the AC-20. Alright, so I guess then, if that's the case, we'll throw on a heatsink? Yeah, sure, why not? We'll throw on a singular heatsink. That'll be fine. Alright. That'll take us 9 days, but again, that is not a big issue. We should... yeah, we'll get that sorted whenever it's... whenever it needs to be ready. Alright, as for everything else, work on our Marauder is complete. I'm trying to remember what we did with that Marauder 3D. I feel like it was just trying to... I feel like that was just trying to repair the structural damage that we took to its leg. I guess there is always potential for taking that... what is it? The Exchanger, and throwing that over on our other Marauder. That may not be too necessary. No. I think we'll just arrive and see what kind of things we can find in the black market. With any luck, we'll find
We've arrived at our destination, Commander.
a Gauss rifle or something like that. I would love one of those things. That would be very, very nice. But either way. Oh, Infernos. Huh. I don't remember Infernos. SRMs. Yeah, I guess that... Oh no, I do remember them. No, it just took a second for my brain to catch back up again. So, how many shots do these things have? I guess you need Inferno ammo as well. 3 tons, 2 slots, 2 lots of 5 heat damage, no stability. A little bit of regular damage, but again, not amazing. LRM-15s, some good missile modified SRM and LRM launchers. Alright, but I think where we really care to have a bit of a look is over here in the black market. What do we see? Oh, they have an Atlas. Ooh, oh, we could purchase one of those things. That would be beautiful. They have 6 parts of an Atlas. That would be, what, we'd need 3. That'd be 4.5 million C-bills. We could do it. I do love a good Atlas. We've also got a full awesome, which again is more expensive than an Atlas, which I find hilarious. We could purchase a Banshee. True, we could go ahead and do that. Sacrifices its speed for large expansion and firepower. Well armored sniper, it's not bad. We also have, what do we see? A good old crab Cyclops. We almost got one of those earlier on in the campaign, but it wasn't meant to be. A javelin and a Highlander. Ooh, that's nice. That is very nice. Good grief. Expensive though. There's also a Stalker on offer for, again, a reasonable amount of money. We could purchase one of those. An AC5. Look at that extra stability damage. Stacks of accuracy. We've got large pulse lasers, which weigh less and do more damage. That is highly, highly tempting. 3.3 million though. LB2Xs with extra damage and critical. PPCs, bonus damage, arm mods for extra melee damage, stability damage, another exchanger for 20% weapon heat. Ooh. That could be very, very handy. Got some gyros for melee hit. Energy accuracy with another TTS. My goodness, there is some good stuff on offer here. Oh man, that's such a pickle. Because don't get me wrong, I would love to buy an Atlas because we have been forced out of certain missions because we haven't had heavy enough mechs. So that would be useful. That said though, things like that pulse laser, extra damage, 65, look at that, that would be beautiful. Yeah, we've got some very nice offers ahead of us. Okay, well, you know what, for now, we're not going to be changing around any of our mechs, so we don't need to dive in immediately. As tempting as it is, yeah, I don't think we need to, although... I was just looking at that LB2X. That could be really nice for a for maybe our Centurion. That could be good. Either way, we will get to that when we get to that though. That is for us to figure out where we want to spend our money. But what is important is going to be how much money we have to spend. So we should definitely be checking out what we've got available to us. Oh, and what do we see here? An ambush convoy. It's for the pirates. 3 reputation. What are we currently staying at? We are currently at -23. So we need 4 reputation. That is non-negotiable. So there we go. We can get our way a little bit further. So the question is, we could go down to less money and more salvage. Although realistically, the salvage is going to be fairly inconsequential. Could also just ignore the salvage and go for some money because, again, it's only a single... Yeah, you know what? I think what we do here is we go for the pirates. That will be... What do we need? From minus 19 to 19 is indifferent, and that's what we're aiming for. So this will take us from minus 23, that'll take us to minus 22, 21, 20, and minus 19, which does definitely get us into that bracket. Well then, I think we cannot say no. Let's focus in on the money since we know we want to spend a lot of it here. We'll go ahead and do a quick ambush convoy and see what we can potentially get in the future. Alright, so ambush convoy, that's nice and easy. Probably, what have we got? We've got a polar biome. Okay. Let's bring out our... we don't have a ton of weapons, but the Marauder could be useful with the PPCs. Let's see, maybe, yeah, let's drop off the Black Knight. Let's go with our energy Marauder. We can go ahead and probably drop the Orion. We don't... let's bring the Shadow Hawk, and then let's also bring the Phoenix Hawk and the... what do we want? Assassin, Vulcan... Larger laser, interesting. Could always potentially swap out that Vulcan's large laser for like that AC, the LB2X or something. That could be fun. Be similar amounts of damage too. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. You know what? Let's bring our fire starter. That'll do. Alright, so let's see. Who do we want piloting which thing? I suppose... let's give Hawk a turn of piloting a Marauder. We have some extra damage reduction, so I think we'll take the fire starter. The Shadow Hawk should be fine with Big Man, and Phoenix Hawk gets Cheese Goblin. Alright, I think that seems fairly fair. 3s and 4s across the board. Let's go ahead and deploy.
MechWarriors, prepare for combat.
This is going to be so very good. Finally moving our reputation with the pirates into that bracket. Yeah, that's going to be very, very good for us. The fact that we, yeah, we're not going to get locked out of so many missions. We may not be able to do the super hard ones, but the fact is we should have access to a couple more. And again, the higher the difficulty contracts, the more reputation we could theoretically earn, which is very nice. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and destroy the armored convoy and escape, and we get a bonus if we take out the convoy guards. Our sources on the planet have alerted us to a convoy of vehicles being transferred to an otherwise undefended military base. If we act quickly, we can destroy that convoy before it has a chance to reinforce the base. Normally we wouldn't be concerned about a simple vehicle convoy, but pirate intelligence operatives report that one of the vehicles is a fully operational Shrek PPC carrier. That's not a threat we can afford to ignore. We need you to eliminate that convoy before they make it to their base. Alright, don't underestimate the Shrek commander. It's tough as hell and carries 3 PPCs. It has the heat capacity to fire them non-stop. Yes, that is going to be a little bit dangerous, but that said though, we have some pretty quick movement, some solid evasion, and I'm guessing if we can get close and surprise it, we can crush it fairly swiftly and take that out of the equation. But either way, we'll be careful and we'll sort it out. Again, we do have a little bit of indirect fire, I think. So it shouldn't be the be-all and end-all. Either that, or we could scout it out and snipe it with our Marauder. We've got options. But either way, let's see how things go.
Command interface initiated.
Alright, there is the area commander. The armored column should be just ahead. Not getting into range of that thing's guns, Commander. Move up there, you should be able to spot the target. I'll be on station, boss. After you make some tank-sized holes in the terrain, I'll pick up your lance at this LZ.
Ready for action.
Alright, sweet. So, let's see. Escaping convoy's route. Okay, so they're going to be zipping up around here. We have all of this to defend. I think we'll go... Oh wow, we really do have a phenomenal position. Let's go... Let's take the high road. Yeah. Let's move up here as best as we can.
Roger that, Commander.
They've got to come to us, that's fine. We can probably spot them and then shoot them pretty comfortably. We'll get the Shadow Hawk up and moving. The Phoenix Hawk as well should be fine. And the Fire Starter's got some solid movement. Alright, so no sign of them moving yet. We do need to be aware of that geothermal pocket. If we stand over that, that's going to wreak havoc with our... That's going to wreak havoc with our... what do we call them? Heat sinks. So we'll need to note that. Let's also bring, I think, let's maybe swoop around this way. We do have the sensor lock too, so if we need to hide from that Shrek PPC carrier, we can do that. Let's get the Phoenix Hawk.
Consider it done.
Our target is within
Sensors have
sensor
something.
range.
Okay, and there it all is. So there's a 35 tonner, 35, 60, and 35. Let's move... I don't know. I don't really know where a good spot is. Now this should be fine. We'll just pick up some very high evasion. We'll see if we can get them to move on in. We'll reserve, and then we'll just start taking shots, I think. Alright, so here comes the next one, which is a Javelin. Yeah, it looks like they're on the sprint as well. Alright, first vehicle. I don't know if any of those hit. But there wasn't many LRMs there, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and we'll reserve again. We'll see how close we can get things to us. And then obviously we'll focus that PPC carrier first if we can. And then we'll deal with the rest as it stands. Alright, so...
Confirmed.
Alright, we've got good ranges here. 65, 65. We don't have anything else. Let's move over to
Standing by.
Big Man. Let's move up into cover. Oh, you've got sensor locking
Yes,
as
Commander.
well. Phoenix Hawk. Not so much. We could get eyes on back there, but again, it's this one that we're really concerned about. Let's move into cover. Yeah, I think cover is the best play.
Of course.
Yeah, and we'll just take a shot here.
Target acquired is locked in.
Yeah, pretty bad shots right there. Alright, that's fine. Okay, well, you know what? I don't think they have a PPC carrier. I think they have an LRM carrier, if anything.
Ready to rock.
Alright, well then, if that's the
Good
case,
to go.
let's bring... Let's see... Got decent shots on the Fire Starter, could put a shot or two on the Javelin. Yeah, I just think we take these guys out one shot at a time. I think we'll send maybe the... Let's send the ER medium laser to the Javelin. Yeah, and then the rest can go against the Fire Starter, and we'll see how that softens things up.
Copy that.
Alright, so that's already pretty well beaten up. We did miss there, but again, that's no surprises.
That didn't hit.
Alright, so...
Yup.
What's that leave us with? We've got our Fire Starter, we can move on up, and I think... Oh, it's only a medium pulse. Oh, that's as much as we've got. We could use our jump jets, I suppose. That's not going to get us much further. Oh, man. Alright, fine. I don't want to get knocked on over. That could be a little bit of an irritation. Yeah, alright, fine. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump up over here. We'll at least get eyes on that vehicle. And we'll see what we come up with.
Engaging jump jets.
Alright, so what do they got? They have a Striker. Let's go with some Fire Starter against Firestarter. Yep, sure. The medium pulse could be enough technically to knock this thing over. Maybe take out a torso.
Engaging target.
Oh, and we hit the torso. Well, that's nice. Alright.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
So that's those. Let's see. How's he doing? He's down to 3 flamers and a medium laser, all of which are not going to concern us. This thing has about 100 points of damage.
Skipper.
I suppose we'll go 90s, 70s. Oh, we do not have range on the... Huh. We don't have range. Alright. Well then I guess if that's the case, we'll just move on up.
Acknowledged.
How close to death are you? Relatively. What about the other guy? The javelin? Honestly, I'm probably more concerned about the javelin living than the fire starter. So you know, let's put some shots on here and see if we can impair his senses a bit. There we go. That should make his life a little bit more difficult. Alright, here come the medium lasers. Or a singular one. Okay, well I'm happy if there's no dice there. Let's see. Firestarter. Let's roll. That looks pretty good. We could just take that out. And I think taking a little bit of cover is probably ideal. If we get the kill here, that should mean that we should be fairly safe from the others. Although we could still have a line of sight, who knows. Let's go ahead and open fire.
All weapons committed. Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Alright, so he's not in good way. There's our their fire starter firing at ours.
Warning. Detecting
Oh.
MechWarrior injury.
An injury? That is very unpleasant of them. Yeah, alright.
What are your orders, Skipper?
Fine, it is what it is.
What's up, boss?
Let's go.
How might I help?
What do we want? Maybe we just fire everything on the fire starter first and then we'll follow up with the javelin after? Yeah, let's go ahead and fire.
I believe this should have an effect.
Full Alpha Strike
That's
is pretty
critical
good.
Hit.
That's a wound for a turn. Oh, and we can even move. Where do we want to go? We can even jump if we desire. Oh, actually, hang on a second. Now, Phoenix Hawk. Do we get perks for... No, we have the Vectored Thrust Kit. We get extra damage after jumping. Maybe we jump up and take some extra cover and deal with these clowns on the next one? Either that or we could just move. You know what? I'm actually curious to know how this works. We're going to go ahead and jump.
Confirm.
And I'll see if we get the bonuses for having used our jump jets on our next attack.
Ready to rock.
That leaves our Shadowhawk. Let's go ahead and move on forwards. I think we'll go... where is a safe place for us to shoot from? I guess that'll have to do then. Maybe we just take care of the fire starter. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to go ahead and we'll reserve. We'll see what these vehicles are going to do. I'm not sure what they're going to shoot at, but I'm somewhat curious. Alright, let's see how close the others get, because again, if that the Shadowhawk can get close enough, I might try and just take out one of them quickly. And it looks like they're focusing on our fire starter. Okay, that is unpleasant. Alright, so LRMs, SRMs, Narc Beacon. Luckily that Narc did not seem to
Confirmed.
attach. We can definitely take care of one of them.
Commander.
But let's go... what have we got? Could fire a pretty good salvo here and then maybe a small laser at the fire starter. And I think that's probably what we're going to do. Yeah,
Got it.
that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and focus on you and then the rest over here. Again, that small laser should be enough to get the kill potentially.
Engage. Primary target damage. Concentrate your fire. Primary target is taking damage.
Alright, so that's the first one down, and then it looks like we tagged the leg of that fire starter. And I'm falling over. Surely I am.
Armor low.
No? My goodness, that is ridiculously close. I have no idea how that happened. Alright, well then, if that's the case, let's go ahead and I think we're going to march on over here for now. We'll go... Let's see, 80s... Yeah, everybody's out of range, so... I guess we'll just move on forwards. We're not really giving up any high ground or anything, so you know what? No, let's go... Let's stay up here for now.
I got you.
And then let's target the javelin, I think. Let's go for a precision strike. We'll see if we can get this headshot.
Engage target.
Hey, head is destroyed.
I need a new target.
That is lovely. Alright, so the fire starter is still going to be a bit of a pain. Apparently it's decided to hold on to its flamer ammunition. That does not make much sense, but I suppose... if that's truly what it wants. Alright, we're fairly toasty. I think what we'll do here is we can... I feel like they're trying to trick us into getting too close, but we're going to go ahead and move into cover. Actually, you know what we can do? Hang on, let's just double check. No, it's the initiative one that we reduce our... Okay, so let's just reserve for a second and double check that I'm right. I'm pretty sure we don't lose... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only someone like Rannick with that master initiative kind of thing that gets to reduce the stability damage on a reserve. So we'll move back where we're nice and safe. We will target this guy because he has to die, and I'm pretty sure that this should be easy enough.
All weapons committed.
There we go, that's the last of the escorts. Alright, so that should mean that you're now out of line of sight of this guy, I think.
What are your orders, Skipper?
Let's move...
Receiving you.
what do we do? Do we move the... Yeah, let's move our Shadow Hawk up, I guess. And you know what? We have plenty of heat. Let's go... 3 evasion? We'll probably have better accuracy than if we move down here, because then we're obfuscated. Yeah. Let's just jump on up and see how it goes. So what do we see? LRM carrier. Yep, no Shrek PPC carrier like we were promised, but I'm okay with this.
Engaging target.
Alright, so he's pretty much toast.
Yup.
We'll save the Marauder for this last one. You, my friend, can target most things. And no, we do not get the boost to our damage as well. That is disappointing, but somewhat expected. Alright, let's just go ahead and jump up over there. Target the LRM carrier.
Firing.
Yeah, we'll get the
Hell yes.
we get the destruction of them, and then I guess we follow up with some PPCs.
Ready to rock.
So let's move on a little bit closer. 80%. You know, let's just go ahead and boost that a little bit. What's got the 96, 94? You know, let's just play the odds.
10-4.
There we go.
Inbound, Commander. I'll meet you at the LZ.
It was highly unlikely we were not going to get the kills, so it's worth it. Alright. As in, yeah, 296% chances. Highly, highly likely. Alright, but either way, that is that, and that should be our reputation with the pirates. Slightly mended, which is so very good for us. So, there is some extra money, 253,000 sea bills, an extra 25% for destroying all the escorts. We are now in the indifferent category as opposed to disliked. I'm wounded for 14 days. That's not the be all and end all. We've got lots of good pilots, medium laser, narc ammo, and a jump jet. Honestly, we're not here for the salvage, so anything that we can use is probably not a bad thing. Or at the very least, we can sell it off. Alright, so I think that's where Actually, no. We'll go ahead and we'll double check that no one was close to leveling up any of their skills. But I think that that's going to be where we're going to call it. We've got a few missions ahead of us. Hopefully not too many of them will be geared towards the pirates. But even if they are, we can leave happy and who knows, maybe even get a mech up and running. Alright, so let's check in on that mech bay, because apparently Yang says there's something wrong with our... No, nothing's wrong. Alright, well, we'll leave that be. Oh, actually, you know what? That is one thought. So we do have an exchanger on here, which is obviously quite decent. But I was thinking, with the PPCs, we could potentially swap that out for maybe an ER PPC, because those things are 50 damage. Let's just double check. Yeah, we could do potentially 65 with an ER PPC plus, with a little bit less tonnage as well. That could be rather nice for us. Do we have a regular PPC? How much do those things weigh? 7 tons. So technically we could go ahead and throw one of them on there. We could also potentially throw on like a snub PPC instead of the other one as well, and that could be also quite a devastating thing to have on there. But either way, just a thought I was having. But either way, let's go ahead and check out our MechWarriors. We'll go and level up where we can. Let's see, what do we want? Minimum range, recoil penalties. I think we work on our tactics for a little bit. Yeah, I think that's probably best. Get that cold shot mastery potential as well.
Confirmed, Commander.
Then we've got Rannick, nothing there. As for Hawk, interesting choice. We could go with some recoil penalty. Could also boost up and get that unsteady threshold, and we do want that extra sprinting. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we do go ahead and we boost up his piloting skill.
MechWarrior
Just that way we don't get too far behind with our movements. And then Cheese Goblin, close to the next level of tactics.
Commander?
And I think that is all good. Alright, so yes, we have a few contracts to go through. I'll have a bit of a look between these and I'll see exactly what's for us. Oh, actually that looks very promising, but it's against the pirates, so we're not going to take it. Oh, that's a shame. But either way, I'm sure there's something good here. So if you do want to see whatever mission we do take, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is the best way to catch all future content, and I'll see you next time. So until then, thank you for tuning in to the Leviathan Cove. This is the Leviathan signing out.